You're getting worried, yes indeed. I know exactly what you need. A little sunshine will make you feel okay. Now look here, give the blues a change. Find a sunny place. Go and paint your face with sunshine.
Recording twice. Okay. And 7:45. And I make that note over here. And we have some minutes left over from November, December. December we approved the budget, and March was our last meeting when we discussed everything. I sent you links to the meetings that were posted online because it was easier than sending batches of PDFs or Word things. So you may consider them jointly or severally or whatever you like. All right, I'll put them up on screen.
Teresa, do you have comments?
I think the November meeting was the only one where Teresa was not available, and that's why we had the December meeting to approve the budget.
Okay, so Mary, have you looked at the November meeting minutes?
I did. I'm okay with approving all of the minutes.
Okay. So do you want to
I'll make a
that as-
motion. Yep, I'll make a motion to
approve
approve
all the minutes?
all the minutes. Yep.
Teresa?
Did we lose her?
Well,
It's okay if you want to second.
yeah, I was going to say that then I will second them. I'm just doing one last quick. Yeah, so I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Thanks, Teresa.
Sorry, I'm having connectivity issues.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay.
Such is life.
Yep.
Okay. Next, there are reports, and what can I say? We're running over budget about $4,000 for mine, and we may be about $1,000 over for the other staff. At some point, I just sort of said, they said, "Oh, well, there's another meeting to do. Do you want us to do that?" And I figured if we were over budget anyway, to just let it go over budget, and we can. I have drafted a line item transfer for money out of the leftover funds from the Cable Advisory Council grants. In the past, we've been allowed to apply for personnel costs, and I don't know if they put a hard figure at it, but at about 50%, I figure on the years where I have put that in to an application, I just put in 50% of the budget. On occasion, I have transferred funds from leftover grants into conference and professional training because it's just part of keeping things. It's almost personnel, but not quite. And as long as we report that's how we're using it, and we send the Munis report of all our expenses and personnel, then that seems to keep Piora happy when the council has to report it. On what's been going on the April coordinator report, I have notes about useful software and things that we are using on the May report. There's some kinks in some of the machines, but I think we've managed to do them. We had to do minor surgery on the TriCaster because the CMOS battery was dying on the motherboard, and it was going to cost us hundreds of dollars to have one person or another come and take it off the rack, open it up, and replace the battery, which is just a watch battery, a little button battery. So administration managed to get Vancord to do it. He was a little surprised. He said, "They didn't give you instructions." I said, "They offered to talk me over the phone about it. Do you want me to call him?" He says, "No. We have a fifth person calling in. Hello? Call-in user? Hello, call-in user?
Hello, it's me. My cell phone keeps disconnecting.
Oh, it's you again. Hi. Okay, we have you twice. Anyway, we got that fixed. I was having an upload speed problem with the desktop computer, which I figure is at least over 5 years old, maybe 7. We have a workaround for it. And the, oh, what do I want to say? He said the Ethernet card was probably bad, so the real fix is getting a new computer, which might fit in with the leftover funds from the grant. Or we could put it into next year's grant. That's what's going on with equipment. Let's see. And as far as software and personnel kind of go together, as I was telling Mary, the newest person, the young man who wants to make it as a sketch comedian or stand-up, and lives over in Fairhaven. He says he's really enjoying playing with the hypercaster functions and plugging in the programming, which surprised me. It's a little bit like knitting once you get into it, and sometimes when I do it, it's hard for me to break out to other work. But as long as he's happy doing this, I'm ready to give him remote access and have him coordinate with Anna about uploading and downloading programs as she has them ready. He also has offered to use his free software for editing. I don't think it includes captioning. So there's some pre-production and post-production work is kind of filled in. I'm hoping I can sit down with everybody, maybe by phone as well, and find out, sketch out parts of the process that need to be filled in and whether they can do it amongst themselves. Maybe with the help of somebody to tell them what the meetings are. But otherwise, let them figure out who's sitting where on what meeting and who's taking care of delivering the recordings to either Anna or Nick B. And maybe that'll work. Nick also has his own YouTube channel. Anna has a YouTube channel. Nick was surprised when he learned that you could schedule a YouTube live stream, which is pretty much an essential part of the process for us now. I should also tell you as part of my report that I've met twice with administration. That would be Tony and Karen. At the first meeting, I gave them as many possibilities for them to approach to see if they would take on a coordinator's job. Those all failed. In the second meeting, they said their plan is to cut back production to only Selectmen, Finance, Woodbridge Board of Ed, and Town Plan and Zoning. And then go from there. I was hoping to pick one of the production people, Matt, who is very good at solving problems on the fly, to see if he would take on being a team captain so it's not so scary, because he really doesn't want to be a boss. If that doesn't work, I might work on Anna, or maybe between Matt and Anna, have them do it. Nick is very responsible, but he has a full-time job during the day at a school with small children. Gets up early in the morning to get there. He could probably do it eventually if he wants to. I don't know if any of them want to, but there's a possibility to keep it going. I plan to tell them that if they're disappointed about only doing 4 meetings, they could work on coordinating among themselves, and when they can prove that they can do it, they can talk to administration about adding more meetings. That's my plan so far, and I'm open to suggestions, let me tell you. I plan to always be in the background and available on call, so I'm sure that'll make them feel better. But oh, I was just telling Mary, like a half hour before the meeting, my husband was not feeling well and fell and hit his head on the floor, and I had a little adventure with the EMTs coming to the door. They checked him out, figured he was okay, and he's in bed sleeping comfortably now. So that's an example of why I can't be everywhere at once. So anything else I can tell you on that score? Or I think on the agenda I have useful software as a point of discussion if you're interested in what I wrote you in April. I didn't send out the April reports again, but I could put them up on screen if you like.
Looking through the various
Yeah, Video
emails that
Hunter
we
is the
have from.
one. Yeah, I mean, for filling out programming, Video Hunters would be one to acquire, I think.
So I'm a little bit hesitant to really think much about any sort of software stuff given the uncertainty around the personnel situation.
Okay. Those what we're using now. They know. I mean, Matt's really good at OBS.
Mhm.
Nancy was, but her life is getting very busy right now. And one of my to-do lists is to go talk to her and get the laptop back that we got for her. There are very few virtual meetings right now. There was one last week with a 15-minute meeting with the police commission, which Matt covered. Was able to get in. I arranged for the door to be open for him to do it at the building. Anna's watched it. She's familiar with the process, but she's not done a recording like that yet. And I bet you anything Nick G would be the new Nick. New Nick would probably be good at it. Video Hunter, it would be an add-on, and we could run the same PSAs over and over again between meeting things, but I think it's nice to have some variety. And the CDC sometimes comes up with something new. Useful. One item that's not quite software that I think would improve remote work that I could go and discuss with administration is paying for helping to defray some of the internet connection cost for Anna, for example, to buy a little bit higher speed internet so that she could upload meetings that she's finished to connect so that it's easier to just send them down to the Hypercaster. As it is now, she puts them back in the drive folder, which is fine. Then I sit at home. If I can't get in, I sit at home, I download it on my computer and then upload it to connect so I can download it to the Hypercaster, which seems unnecessary if only she had enough speed that she could get it uploaded to the first place. So
Right.
that's, that's something we can discuss. And I don't know how much, what, $30 a month as a price she was considering, pending her move to a new house, which she now has. So that's something I'll discuss further with her. Another item was we have this Google Drive account with WGATV79 at Gmail. And we've used that fine, but we only get 15 gigs with it. So, gee, if that was going to be a regular item, we could have 100 gigs for $2 a month. Now, the question on either of those items is how do we pay for it? Do they only take credit cards? If they take credit cards, is that on somebody's credit and then they submit for reimbursement? Or that's what I have to discuss with administration. There are things that I've bought, small items I've bought that are smaller than I can use a purchase order for, and there's paperwork you do to get the reimbursement. So that's another life lesson for the kids, I guess. They're kids. They're one of them's almost 30, so they're adults. So those are ideas. What else was there? I had a memo back in April. I wrote up a memo on captions about how I came to. It just seemed like the smart caption was the thing to use because you could get it live, and once you learn how to use it, there's not as much labor involved. If we got Premiere Pro, it would be it wouldn't be much. It would be like $240 a year. Again, how do they accept payment and how do we reimburse whoever pays for it? Also, who has the license? If it's the license on the computer at work, then maybe we put this off until we get a new computer at work. If it's something that Anna's doing at home, do we buy the license for Anna? If Anna's not the only one doing the editing, do we also buy a license for another person?
So is that license a cloud-based license? You know,
I don't know.
I use Premiere Pro, or I use the Adobe Creative Cloud for work. So that's a cloud-based, and so I can use it on any computer. Just I need to know the login, and they can only have one computer set up to, or actually, I think two computers set up to use it at a time.
Okay. That sounds like some other software. That's how Premiere Pro works. I mean, Premiere Elements.
Right.
I believe it was cloud-based because when I went on Adobe to check it out, that seemed to be the only thing they offered.
Yeah,
So,
I know that
so it
that's
works
the
as long as the
direction they were
internet
moving.
works, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, it even works beyond that. If you're offline, but you're sort of the one that's downloaded the cloud license for the time being, you're good until you get back online or something like that. I forget exactly how the details work.
Okay. Since we last talked, the copy of Premiere Elements that I have on the desktop, the 2021, the audio stopped working. And when I go to the community to see what's wrong and see who else has the problem, they say, oh, well, I fixed it by buying the next version. I happened to buy the 2023 version for my own purposes on my computer, and it offers far fewer options for other things that I like in the way of titling and transitions. So so I took it off my computer. I didn't want it. So I'm almost suspicious that Adobe has built-in obsolescence on these programs so that you're either forced to the cloud or to buy the next version up, which will go on sale anytime now. In any case, again, until we decide to replace the desktop computer, I can do editing if Anna isn't available. I can see what Nick can do with his free software on some program. There are a couple of small ones coming up. And, you know, first Nick B, he also has Adobe. He also has Premiere on the computer that he built. So maybe I'll give him something to do if he has time. Those are ideas. My recommendation is, what did I say here on live captioning? Until we know what's going on, until we know who's doing what, on the next grant application, go for one more year of Connect. Connect is very useful, even aside from the captioning part, because you can send things up and down and you can borrow programs from other communities. I'm trying to think. There are a lot of health things that I've been putting up lately, and a couple of financial discussions. I guess Kathleen Kennedy, I forget her married name, lives on the Cape somewhere, and she was doing a couple of financial guide discussions at Falmouth. So I got those on a couple of times. So it's good to keep the Connect thing. I can send you prices. I had prices before on that, sussing it out. I think I might even have a draft of an application. Let me open it up. Would you like to see the grant application draft?
Yeah.
Let's see. Share. What do I want to share? This one. Share. And it's sharing everything. I'm gonna make you bigger. Okay, so some of the prices were the service contract for the TC1. Always good to have, because if you have a problem right before a big meeting, they will answer the phone right away. And they'll even remote in and try and fix anything. Dues for Alliance for Community Media, that's an ongoing thing. Smart Caption, if we bought, darn, I had it on the other one. If we bought 300 more hours, that would get used definitely through the year, maybe more, especially if they cut back to 4 meetings a month for a while. The Connect service, I had bought 2 years already. We're not due to pay it again until December, for a little over $1,000. I started thinking, what else could we need? So in red, I have, what if we had to buy a new TriCaster? A TriCaster Pro, $15,000 and something, and that was a price I got off of B&H. If we wanted to throw in half the money that we have approved already for personnel on both lines, I don't know how they're going to use those funds when I'm gone. That's another $11,000. So anyway, for the software that I see that we could use going forward is still under $6,000, and they always throw more money at us.
Right.
So there's my draft. And I'm happy to complete that before I leave, and Tony can sign off on it. Or Karen. Oh, the other thing, no, we don't, we just replaced the hypercaster. Hypercaster is fine. And I think the service contract for it is fine too. They'll send us a bill if they want us to extend it. I'm pretty sure we're good for another 2 years. And I'm sorry my voice is so creaky. Should I stop sharing? Do you want to look at anything else?
I'm good. I don't know if Mary or Teresa.
I'm good.
I'm set.
I'm
Okay.
Okay, so we'll stop. So we can look at each other normally. Always a good thing. So that's what I see for our future right now. Go away. Okay, next thing on the agenda, I wanted to point out that our regular meeting is Wednesday, June 28th, but that's right smack in the middle of the national conference in Brooklyn. I wondered if, I'm pretty sure personnel can take care of inland wetlands meeting by themselves. But we could meet on the 21st if that's okay with everybody.
I believe that works for me. Mary, Teresa?
I'm good.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, so let's move it to the 21st.
By consensus?
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I will cancel the other one. It might be a special meeting.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I might even be in the hallway while the other one's going on. And if you want to say hi to anybody that's working for us.
Okay.
Well, I already talked about the grant application and about what happens after June 30th. So I have no other business for you.
So I think in terms of what happens after June 30th, one of the questions we haven't addressed is what the communications between the commission and whoever's working will be like.
Yeah. Well, I can discuss that with the team. I think according to not charter, what's besides charter?
Bylaws?
Ordinance. Your ordinances, I think you only have to meet twice a year. I think. We could check ordinances. This is something I should bring to administration, and what they said was they believed that they thought, and I don't know if this is left over from when they were talking about downsizing government before, they said they thought that the TV commission was one of the ones that would probably be deleted. Now that would mean a change in ordinance, and I don't know who would talk to you about that. Probably somebody from the ordinance committee, if in fact this is a plan. I will mention it to them that you asked. It might be they were almost thinking about seeing if somebody in town hall staff would be the one to take care of communicating with the team captain about this meeting is coming up. I don't know if that person would also report to you.
It would seem as if that person would, whether it's report to, depending on how you're defining report, but would need to provide information to us along the way in which you've been providing information to us, right? So
I don't think anybody is going to be ready to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So then we're looking at a situation where, as of June 30th, there's no means for the members of the commission to be receiving information?
No, unless you're watching the TV channel or the YouTube channels.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Behind the
receiving
scenes.
information. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm,
And,
mhm.
you know, I'm just wondering that if that's something then that Tony or Karen would need to do.
I think if you are continuing as a commission to do your job responsibly, you should be in touch with them. And I will tell them that's something that you want.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think that's kind of my concern there.
Okay, I'm going to make a note. How scaled back? What's the most basic way to do? I mean, I feel like I've always wanted to be complete, and maybe I'm always giving too much information. But at least there's a paper trail if I get abducted by aliens, right?
Right.
Would like a Munis report on the department instead of the way I've been doing the budgets, does that help? That might
So
be
I'm-
easy for them, might be easy for somebody to churn out just, well, here's what's been spent this month from all the line items for this department. That would be one thing.
At least from my perspective, the expenditures, while important, are probably not the crux of our communications,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's much more about what's going on in terms of, who's doing what, what's going on with equipment, what's coming up as scheduling concerns. Those are probably the
That'll
things.
be simplified.
Well, or it may actually be exacerbated, because when you drop down to just covering the 4 different meetings or whatever it is, I can easily imagine some of the folks saying, "Hold on a second," and
Yep.
it ending up being
All
an
the
issue.
people who have never responded when I ask how we're doing.
Yep.
I can tell you that a lot of the people who have to take the minutes, first of all, I have to teach them how to look up the links themselves. They look, what? I need the link to the meeting. It was the last one. It should be the first one when you hit the page. But they always want to ask for the link. So I may be spending June, doing little tutorials on here's the YouTube address, bookmark it, and when you go, look down at these, anyway. I don't think I'm as wonderful a geek as you are, Alden. And yet, I find myself explaining things that seem simple to me but are bewildering to perfectly intelligent people that I know. And maybe that's just life in the 21st century.
I think it is life in the 21st century. I always refer back to Mark Prensky's article, which is now pretty dated because it's from 2000. His article, "Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's you and I are still digital immigrants, but
Yep.
there's an awful lot of folks that they're still pretty much living in the old country and they don't know their way around at all.
And I have a team of 4 digital natives
Right.
to offer you.
Right.
They need to learn how to teach the immigrants.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So.
And it may be that that's another part of just thinking about the transition of who is it that people on the various boards and commissions should speak with when they're trying to find the minutes of their latest, or try to find the recording of their latest meeting.
Oh, they've already done that since the website got updated. Have you noticed?
No, I haven't.
No, okay, I think Karen did a little showcase of it during the selectmen's meeting. But it's with the same company. It's sort of a revamp, and they've done things like, I guess people call Tony Belinsky all the time to ask when a meeting is, or when something is happening. So it made sense to put the calendar right on the front page, on the home page. And because of that reaction to what people were asking about, things like the large YouTube channel logo that used to be on the bottom, very prominent at the bottom of the homepage, is no longer there. So twice in the same day, once from Marcia De Gennaro at the Woodbridge School District, and one of the guys on the Conservation Commission said, why can't I find the videos on the town website anymore? And I said, well, it's just on the YouTube page. And they said, yeah, but you can't see it on the front page anymore. So I pointed out where it is a small link along
Right.
with other social media. And I talked to Karen about it, and she put also under directory, she also had WGA TV on YouTube. So there were two places to find it. Nobody else has asked since then, but they did notice when it was gone.
Okay.
It was nice to know. Oh gosh, another one I heard at a COOPOP meeting, they had somebody from conservation tell them what was happening at COOPOP, and one of the newer members on COOPOP was explaining, well, we really don't need people to report to us. You can just see the YouTube videos. I'll show you how. So when we cut back, they won't have that again. But again, let people ask, and then we can build on it again. How much do you think I should charge as an outside consultant when people ask for help? If it's the
But
team, I'm just going to tell them, just call me when you have a problem. But
back in my days of working as a consultant, the rule of thumb was that the hourly consulting rate should be twice the hourly pay rate.
oh, okay.
That was just and I don't know if that still applies these days in the gig economy, but that was the rule of thumb when I was a computer consultant back in the day.
Okay. Well, my pay rate is not nearly that high, I'm sure. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I sort of wish Nancy had been able to step into my shoes, but I think she has a good thing going in Hartford.
Right.
So she might be available for backup in case Nick G's career takes off and he goes to Las Vegas or wherever. Okay. Other than that, absolutely email me or call me or text me if you think of anything else. And otherwise, I think we can hold off until we meet again in June, which is tomorrow. I can't believe it.
Yep.
There we are.
A month gone by.
I know. Half a year. Not quite. Not half a year. Okay.
So, is there any other old business or new business?
Not from me.
Mary, Teresa?
Nope.
Nothing from me.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good. Oh, let me ask. Can I assume that you approve of me moving funds on something I haven't written up yet to cover personnel costs?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I think
Yep.
it would help the town. I mean, it would be capital costs, but it might as well be personnel too. Okay. So we're gonna assume that's by consensus.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I'm gonna put that under coordinator reports. Consensus to transfer funds. And I'll write that out better. Okay. I have no more for you.
Okay, then
Alright.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay. Then
We'll see you all in a month.
yeah,
I'll by consensus again. Thanks, everybody.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
Sure.
Have a good evening.
You too. Take care.